You're watching Justice Central. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Elijah Whitlock claims his former employer fired him for coughing on stage while performing and says the intimate bar was filled with smoke from customers' cigars. Mr. Whitlock is suing Aaron Reyes in the amount of $900.
Mr. Whitlock, you're a singer.
Yes, sir.
And you decided to sing at a bar, and it didn't end up working out, and now you want $900 in wages.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, talk to me. What's happening here?
Yes, so I got hired by Aaron here to play guitar and sing at his bar.
And so what was the understanding that you would be compensated for how much over what duration of time?
Yes, Your Honor. So I would be compensated $1,800 over a month's period of time.
Let's talk about your establishment, sir.
It's a whiskey bar and more of a cigar lounge at the same time where people...
That's right. And was there any ambiguity about the fact that you would be singing in a smoke-filled room?
See, Your Honor, there was no problem to singing in a smoke-filled room as long as there was enough space.
I was like, there's a butt coming there somewhere. Because you're not the only person that he would have had performing. I take it you would have different people perform.
Yes, Your Honor. We have a band on the weekend that performs year-round, and then I wanted to bring in Elijah so we can have more an intimate experience for our older guests that come in.
And this was more during the week?
Yes, Your Honor.
What was the issue then in terms of the spacing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if the band's playing and they're sitting there absorbing smoke, and I mean, I personally couldn't do it. I mean, it's a no-go for me.
It's not the fact that the band's, inhaling all the smoke, because they're in a different area. They're in the backstage area. So there's a bigger stage in the back, whereas Aaron here had me on a more intimate stage around where all these people were smoking.
Did he tell you that?
Not ahead of time.
Coming up on America's Court.
If you look at the contract there, and I'll go over it with you if you like, I have it highlighted for you.
You don't need to go over it with me. I know how to read a contract.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Elijah Whitlock, who is suing Aaron Reyes for lost wages.
You didn't tell him that ahead of time?
No, Your Honor, because he...
Why wouldn't you tell him that?
Because he came in and saw the bar and saw that people were smoking ahead of time. I showed him at night what our atmosphere was.
Your Honor, I have a diagram if you'd like to see.
Please. Yeah, because one is closer than the other.
Yes, Your Honor.
The intimate person is closer to the audience. And was Mr. Whitlock the first person to perform on the intimate stage?
Yes, Your Honor.
So this was a trial and error situation.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're saying it didn't work?
It did not work, Your Honor, and I had asked Aaron if I could be placed on the weekend stage.
That doesn't seem unreasonable.
And I ended up asking a couple customers if they can go outside or at least move.
Wait, you asked the customers to go outside?
Yes, Your
To
Honor.
do what?
If they can move the smoking. They're smoking away from
You want
the intimate
customers
stage.
who have paid to... What kind of sense does that make?
Your Honor, it felt like more of a disrespectful thing because when I had asked him, he told me no.
How many times did you perform?
I performed for 2 weeks, and then that's when he fired me after the 2 weeks.
And did you get compensated for those 2 weeks?
I got compensated for the 2 weeks, but not for the month that he had stated in the contract.
All right, so why'd you fire him?
Your Honor, I fired him because
Yes.
people were going on my website writing terrible reviews. He was being the judge and the jury, telling my customers they couldn't smoke to put out their cigar.
He still owes me another $900, Your Honor. That's stated in the contract.
Where is the contract?
So I gave you some evidence there. If you look at the contract there, and I'll go over it with you if you like, I have it highlighted for you.
You don't need to go over it with me. I know how to read a contract.
The contract states I'll pay you.
You know, it's funny. That's
For the
like one of the first courses you take as a first-year law student, contracts.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
See, I get that you wrote him a check for $900 and said, okay, I'm good, we're done here. You hire a singer, you have him sign a contract. You don't give yourself any out in terms of the contract was for a month unless your performance is unsatisfactory, at which time, without notice, I can terminate this agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's just another sentence. All you have here is, I can renew after a month based on my discretion if I'm not happy with the performance. But you don't say If I'm not happy with the performance each week, I have the option to renew. Based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the plaintiff.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's a teachable moment for not only you, but anybody listening. Just put it in writing. So you will pay him the $900. Judgment in favor of the plaintiff. That is the order. Case closed.
Thank you.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $900.
The first 2 weeks were okay, but I'm working at a different bar now, much happy, getting paid more, and I'm glad I don't have to show my face in your bar ever again.
Well, I'm not worried about it. I got Nicole. She's a leading songwriter and singer, and she's drove up my sales 55%.
Follow America's Court on Facebook and Twitter.